A little bit of history around Data Media Associates. We're a company that was founded back in the late 1970s. Originally, Data Media was a business forms supplier. Fast forward 15 years, and we started doing outsourced print and mail in the healthcare industry, predominantly patient statements. We also are printing a good bit of insurance claims, HICVAs, secondaries, appeals packages that are going to insurance payers. But the primary source of our business is with healthcare billing companies focused in ambulatory type physician practices and billing offices in radiology, anesthesiology, pathology, etc. We generate out of here today just over 500,000 pieces, 500,000 envelopes each day that include patient statements that may be a single page, multiple pages, but we're collecting, processing files from just over 3,000 clients each day. So the varying print runs might be anywhere from a small batch of patient statements of a dozen statements up to files that are coming across each day that might have 20,000 records in it that we have to parse and then transform that information into a statement and a series of messages based upon the aging of that statement. Today, Data Media employs just over 55 people. We run production shifts around the clock. Our inserting operation runs across 2 shifts, and our print runs 24 hours, 3 shifts per day. At times, we're aggregating files based upon document type, so either form type or document structure. So as we transform files coming from varied clients, we'll aggregate them into print runs. And those print runs, as you mentioned, could be as small as a couple hundred. They could be as large as 10,000. It just depends on the files that are coming in that day. We guarantee if any file that's coming to us from our clients today, we will have it in the mail stream the next business day. From the very first day that I was here, we knew that eventually we needed to migrate to inkjet and ideally retire a lot of the pre-printed shells that we were using. Granted, that was a very efficient way to drive documents out, but what we were finding is that our clients were demanding more variable color, more options, more design options. And that was driving us to look at what direction do we go? And what we did find is, based upon the fact that we are processing literally thousands of files a day, print runs that vary in size anywhere from a few hundred to multiple thousand, a roll to sheet or a roll to roll inkjet device for us just was not a great option. But as we looked at all of the available machines in the marketplace, we did decide pretty early that sheet fed was what we were going to have to go to, just because of the type of work that we are generating. So we started working on the development of using the pre-printed shells through the existing Rizzo equipment, and how that would impact the speed and throughput, and comparing that to what we were experiencing in our legacy toner-based equipment. That has always been efficient, but then we also realized and recognized that the quality of the document coming out was a 10x improvement to what we were doing in the toner equipment. And it allowed us flexibility to change designs on the fly that we weren't able to do in our pre-printed shell environment, as we were also experiencing some reductions in production due to COVID, and it gave us time to really evaluate what we were doing. And said, I think it's time for us to make this investment. And we made the decision then that if we were going to really commit to transforming how we were producing our print, that one machine was not going to be enough, that we go ahead, make the investment, and make the leap to purchase 2 of those machines with the objective that if we were already driving 20% of our print volume through the existing Rizzo fleet and 80% was still being done on our toner equipment, to really compare what were we seeing as far as throughput, volume, and how could we effectively drive 80% of our volume over into that color inkjet. All told, in the 6 months that we, managed our way through that project, we see that objective being met before the end of the first quarter of this year. By the end of October, we had made the decision to go ahead and sign the order, but knowing and expecting that coming into February, March, April, that we would see a recovery in the volumes from our clients. And we were starting to see that already in November and December. I put the deadline out there that we needed to have that equipment on the floor, actually producing live documents for us by the end of the year. And Rizzo was able to meet that objective. The equipment, I think, arrived on the floor a couple days before Christmas. The team was here and deploying that equipment in the times that we were down. So we worked together to coordinate what times would be convenient to not disrupt production and also operate in a very safe and socially distanced way to get that equipment installed and deployed and up and running for our work. Right as we came into the beginning of the first weeks of January, we were actually driving production documents through that equipment. But what has been amazing is the comparative of the document that comes out the other end. So in order for our additional equipment in insert to work well and fast, we have to have very readable, high quality barcodes in 3 different locations that we read in our inserting equipment. That's part of the integrity of the documents that we push out. We're printing all healthcare, so making sure that we get the right patient's information into a single envelope and we don't double up is dependent upon the use of barcodes, QR codes, 2D barcodes that are printed on the equipment. So coming out the end, the quality of what we're seeing coming out of the VALEZUS equipment is a considerable step up to what we've experienced with our legacy equipment.